So what happened after the 1992 election in Hereford?
Well, we had to have an inquest in the constituency, and I went back to quite a few meetings, and I then had to make a decision about what I was going to do with my career, because I was now 50, and I'd always said that come 50 I was going to retire and do something else. And I told Director of Education, John Beale, who was a good friend of mine, and I told him that when I was 45. Because I used to tell him, look, working in local government is not my scene, but number two, I can do my job in 3 days. And most people in local government can do their jobs in 3 days, rather than 5. That was very unpopular when I was telling that to some people, but it's true. They drag it out. But we won't go down that road now. That I can pursue that attitude in the book. So the election was over, and oddly enough, what ifs again. During that general election, there was a job of deputy director coming up, or assistant director, and I put my name in. And then I had to withdraw because I was a candidate. You know, funny things in my life. It's amazing the choices that have happened at similar times in about 4 different events. Anyway, so I got back because I lived in Hereford for a while. I lived in Gwynoro near Monmouth, out in the wilds. You've been there. You stayed one night there or something, or 2 nights, remember? Yeah. Out in the wilds. That got broken in, by the way. That was broken in during the week of the election. Yes. Ian Parry he came up for a few days to help. And we got back one night before the election, on the Wednesday. And noticed there's light on, the television is on, and the window's been smashed. Anyway, but it was a very remote place. You know, you could get up to all sorts of trouble in and around there if there was nobody around. It was totally, but I loved it. For 2 years, it was quite good. Anyway, had to make a decision, so I said, right, I am going to retire. So I told John Beale, and he said, well, okay, you've got to go through the process of applying for early retirement and blah, 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 through the committees and all that sort of thing. And it took a while, and it took about 6 months probably. And I was sent out to Pontardawe to work in the Resources Centre. Out of the way now, you see, because my time was up, and I had yet again stood against Labour, and the Labour councillors had enough of me probably. I don't blame them for that. And I had my way a long time. You know, I had a big budget to be in charge of, together with Llew Haycock's son, Clayton Haycock. Right. You know, the best administrator I have ever come across in my life. People used to say, Clayton is only where he is because of his father. Nothing of the kind. Clayton Haycock was a remarkable man. And just as a lot of people in the inspection world, as ex-HMIs, contributed to the growth of EPPC, I owe a lot to him, to Clayton Haycock, for what I know about education. He was a master of his craft. Anyway, where was I on about? I've forgotten.
Next steps.
Next steps. So I was sent to Pontardawe. That's right, sent to Pontardawe. To do nothing. I actually had a television in my room, in the office, because there was already a resources centre manager. Already were there. Angela Williams, and she was a very good resource centre manager. And they sent me there to be on top of her. I just kicked out of the way. So what I did that summer, watched cricket. True. I had a television set in the room, and I used to crack jokes about how I used to be the sheriff for Pontardawe, because what I did for that resource centre, because I had a budget over years, and some of the Labour councillors used to call it Gwynoro's, what was it? oh, it'll come back to me. They had a word for it because they suddenly found things were done to their schools, good things, that they knew nothing about. You know, because I had this budget, it was slush fund, Gwynoro slush fund, and they say that to the committee. Oh, well, yes, we got that done for that school through Gwynoro slush fund. That's how it was. Anyway, that resource centre was in a rundown state. And because of my contacts with building services, because of my contacts with, over years and years, you know, with them, I ring them up and say, look boys, this place really needs a paint. The windows need to be sorted out. Carpet is terrible. So I got that place completely renovated before I retired. Anyway, so I retired with the intention of starting a company with Ian Parry, who was the chief advisor in West Glamorgan at one time, but in the last year or two before we retired, he'd gone to work for the WJEC in a training officer capacity, in charge of management training of head teachers and things, okay? And he wanted to finish as well. So we were to set up this company. I had no idea what the name was or anything of that kind at that time. And I won a little bit of work because I became unemployed and got a grant to try and start my own business. And I got business cards and a checkbook and all that for Gwynoro Jones Associates. Well, Gwynoro Jones Associates did very, very little work at all, because within a few months, the government announced that they were changing the inspection system. Well, it was manna from heaven, wasn't it? Manna from heaven.